Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all that are present here. And I would like to welcome you all to our quarterly ICROC committee meeting. And it's a very hard day for us all because we have one person missing. I would like to take a minute silence in honor of Dr. Mike Gonzalez. So if we can do that, please, in his honor. Thank you. He will be definitely missed. And Dr. Gullett, members of the board, and administrative staff, committee members, welcome. My name is Jane Mooley. I'm the vice chair of the committee, and I would like to welcome you all. I would like to open by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice. I know that one. Next, we're going to have the roll call, and since I was doing that, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Jennifer Hatchett. Marianne Collins. I think she's on her way. Gordon Glover. Michael Holloway is going to be absent. Diana Williams.
Here.
Dr. Barbara Brooks.
Here.
June Daly. Bobby Gunter.
Here.
Susan Connolly. Beverly, no, she has a surgery. Neil McDonald.
Here.
Narvella Hayes. Okay. 2, 3. Five. Neil, do we have quorum? One more person is going to be here.
When they're here, we will.
Okay.
I think we can go ahead and go.
Yeah.
We just can't do any motions.
Yes, okay. I would like to accept the meetings, the minutes of the meeting from last meeting. Any corrections, please? Do we have?
I have a correction.
Okay.
On the, what page is that? Under number 3, where it says Jennifer Hatchett was asking some questions and such, it was actually me.
Okay. Is that on page 4?
Page 4, yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with that correction.
I second.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I can't do that. Actually, I retract that. We'll have to wait for that other member to be here. We don't have a quorum. Sorry.
Okay, we have to wait for Miss Marianne Collins to be here so we can approve the meeting minutes, and I'm sure she's on her way. Dr. Gullett, I would like to welcome you to the meeting, and if you can give us a district overview. Thank you.
Certainly. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the ICROC Committee. It's certainly a pleasure to be here with all of you again today. I would like to recognize Dr. Gonzalez, who's very absent with us today. I had the opportunity to have recent conversations with Dr. Gonzalez. I know that many of you participated in our the school visits as an ICROC committee, and I want to thank you for that. And immediately after the first round of visits, he texted me and called me and was very joyful, I would say. And we had great conversation around what he saw and spoke on behalf of several of you that were there. And we talked a lot about where we're going as a district and what our challenges are, the progress that we're trying to make. And he was very excited and expressed to me a lot of satisfaction with making sure that everything that we've said here is actually happening in our schools. And he wanted me to know that indeed it is. And he was quite pleased. But he's sorely missed. I miss our conversations, miss his passion, and just wanted to recognize him publicly here and thank him for his service and all that he did to help us guide this pathway forward in our district. As far as overview goes, you're going to hear again, as you always do, quarterly from our amazing team representing 6,300 dedicated team members in Marion County Public Schools. We are deeply committed to elevating our student outcomes, which I talk about often, including expanding opportunities for our students. And directly related to the referendum, as you well know, is expansion of opportunities with our arts programs and with our physical education programs, with our CTE offerings. And you'll hear some more updates from the team on those. I'm very excited that what this is helping us do is not just internally, but externally with partnerships in our community. So I've been in regular meetings with folks outside of the district and helping, again, to work together more collaboratively that can extend and expand choice opportunities for our students. And I believe that Marion County Public Schools has all the choices our students can want or need so that they have a successful future wherever they decide to go, whatever pathway they pursue. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things I do want to highlight as we talk about foundational skills, which really expands upon all of these opportunities, right? The arts and physical education. We have created a literacy council, and that work on behalf of the team is helping to guide and shape the pathway for all of our students in foundational skills, again, translating to all core subject areas. But I also want to highlight today safety. We can only do all of these things in a safe environment. Safety is our top priority, but a number one priority in our district and always has been. We have to make sure that we are providing a safe and positive working and learning environment for our students and our staff and our visitors and our mentors and our volunteers. And so safety is paramount to all of this. So especially grateful for all that the referendum does and hopefully will continue to do to ensure a safe environment for all of those who are in our schools. And so I'm going to go ahead and let our team present unless you have any questions for me, and I'm certainly available at the end. I know that a couple of our team members have to leave on time tonight. So again, want to thank all of you for all the work that you do to support our schools and appreciate your partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett. And if we can go into does anybody has any comments? Okay, Ms. Teresa Balsanalis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's not just me. As you can see, there is a group of us, the team that will be presenting this evening. Much of the information you are very much aware of, but we are committed to provide updates to you every quarter. So the information that we share today will cover the first quarter from July through September, with some historical perspective. And with me tonight, and I won't get back up until I need to talk about numbers. So along with Charity Corneliuson, She is our program specialist for physical education. Ben Whitehouse, the director of student pathway and assessments. Aaron Martin, the program specialist for media centers. And Joan Crowder, our coordinator for fine arts. Janet Biddick, director of professional leadership and learning. And Dennis McFadden, director of safe schools. And we'll go in that order. So we start at the beginning as a reminder to you. The referendum, the first was implemented in 2015-16 year. It was for a 4-year period. It was approved by the voters at that time for a 1 mil levy. And then in 2018, we received a second approval for another 4 years. We are in the last year of that 4-year period, 22-23. Just to remind you that the allowable use of funds that were approved by the voters include physical education, art, music, library and media, reading, vocational programs to help us meet class size, retain state certified teachers, paraprofessionals, and for the second 4-year period, school safety was added. Also like to remind you that this 1 mil is based on property values. For this current fiscal year, property values increased 20%. So that's why you see the budget being increased to the tune of about $4 to $5 million. And that's strictly based on the property values. This referendum supports 365 staff, teachers, paras, vocational program teachers, and we have currently 345 actual staff that have been hired. Just like to point out to you that at the very bottom of the schedule, it shows you the budget is $28.5 million, and our proposed expenditures for this current year are $25.5 billion. For the activity from July through September, we have received to date 44,000, which is pretty normal this time of the year. If you recall, the funding that we receive comes from property taxes, so this was probably taxes that were paid after the fiscal year that relate to the prior year. We do have expenditures of about $3.8 million as of September 30th. You will also know that we carry a fund balance so that we can afford the staff and the expenditures through the time property taxes begin to be collected again around November and December. So the fund balance is currently covering these expenditures. Just to reflect on the budgeted expenditures, $25.5 million. You can see the predominant amount is $12.4 million, and that will cover paraprofessionals and the class size instructional units. 129 for the instructional units and 98 for the paraprofessionals. The remaining funds cover the specific teachers and also supplies and equipment under each one of the programs. Again, this is a reflection of expenditures, actual expenditures from the inception of the referendum in 2015-16 by program. The very last line is actual expenditures through September 30th, 22. We talked a little bit about fund balance previously. As you can see, we started the year out with $8.4 million in fund balance, and that fund balance will cover all of the expenditures until we start receiving property taxes late November, early December through the end of the fiscal year. Our budgeted revenue for 22-23 is $28.5 million. Budgeted expenditures, $25.5 million. So we are anticipating budgeted fund balance at the end of 22-23 of $11.4 million. We will probably, and I know we will, use some of that fund balance during the year. We are expediting purchases as it relates to safety. You might have heard our board give directions about to expedite the purchases of equipment that is needed, that is covered by referendum. So, but we will bring back that amendment to you when it occurs in the next quarterly. So let's get started and move away from the numbers a little bit and really focus in on why we're here and what those numbers support. So our first category is class size reduction. There was a constitutional amendment that said that the K-3 should be 1 to 18, 4-8, 1 to 22, and 9-12, 1 to 25. Again, reflecting on the budget, we budgeted 129 teachers to date, or as of the end of September, we had hired 124 teachers. Our original budget for paraprofessionals, it was 98, and actual as of the end of September were 93 paraprofessionals. This represents spending of about 15%, and that is in line with prior years. This time of the year, we're about at 15% of the budget. So next we'll move on to physical education.
Hello, everyone. I don't want to put it up too far. I'm Charity Cornelius, and I am the Physical Education Program Specialist for Marion County Public Schools, and I would like to share with you a little bit of what has been going on with our physical education teachers in the first quarter. The beginning of every school year is spent building relationships and creating routines and procedures that will support the continuity of fitness and activities throughout the year. From spatial awareness to cooperative activities, beginning and end of class procedures to proper use of equipment, our physical educators and students are hard at work building their active learning environment. Physical education incorporates not only personal fitness, but the overall health and wellness of our learners. Our elementary coaches maximize student impact by inviting Marion County's health teacher on assignment to share lessons and activities in their classes. These hands-on learning sessions promote healthy lungs, nutrition, and even practice with proper hand washing hygiene for our youngest learners. At the end of the first quarter, our schools wrapped up their beginning of year baseline assessments that support learners setting goals for personal fitness. Students are able to assess where they are and then make a plan to improve or maintain their personal fitness levels throughout the year. I wanted to highlight the photo on the right. I wasn't able to put a video in there, which is so much more impactful because it's a wonderful video. This is Tim Hunt. He's a coach at Maplewood Elementary School. This is actually a screenshot of the video of him supporting a student with blindness as she successfully completes the Fitness Grand Pacer test. What he's doing in this photo is he's kind of backpedaling and calling out to her so that she's able to complete the assessment with the rest of her class. What this photo doesn't show, though, is that this is a full class of students. She is included with just a regular ed class, and he's able to make this possible for her and let her be a part of this. Inclusion really does matter, especially in the special areas. Our physical educators strive daily to empower all of their learners so that they can experience success. Thank you.
We'll have to work on that video. As far as the physical education program, you may recall prior to the referendum, we had teachers that were split between schools. So what the referendum did was restore the teachers back to one per school, and then in some cases there are two based on the ratios that were developed. So for physical education, referendum supports original budget of 18, and 18 have been hired. We also have a position called a PE technician. A technician is not an instructional unit, but they do support the PE classrooms. There are 24 budgeted and 22 hired. Again, we've spent about 15% of that budget, which is in line with this time of the year. In addition to staff, we have allocated $2 per student at each elementary school to supplement the equipment or supplies purchases for the school. So as of 9:30, this particular program has spent $343,000 out of a budget of $2.4 million. Mr. Whitehouse will speak on the vocational programs.
Good afternoon. My name is Ben Whitehouse. I'm the Director of Student Pathways and Assessment, which includes our career and technical education programs here in Marion County, also known as vocational programs. We're excited this year that we've been able to expand our vocational offerings at several of our schools thanks to our referendum funding. We have been able to launch a new Equine Academy, which you see a picture there on the left side at North Marion High School. All of our decisions with career and technical education revolve around our local job demands and making sure that we're providing the right skills to prepare our students for the local labor market. And obviously, the equine industry is a very big part of Marion County. We are known as the horse capital of the world, so it's very appropriate that we have an equine academy at one of our schools. This is a great opportunity. We have a really good partnership out there with some of the local farms, including Bobby Jones Equine, and the students are able to learn not just how to take care of the horses, but the whole business side of equine. So from breeding horses to caring, raising, and then eventually being able to sell them at the Ocala Breeder Sale, which our students go each year and are able to participate in that. It's a really good experience for them to learn hands-on all the way through what the equine industry looks like in Marion County and all the jobs that are fueled by that industry. On the right-hand side there, we have two new programs that we're launching at Forest High School and Denellen High School. These are computer science programs that we're launching using the Project Lead the Way model, which is a very hands-on project-based learning opportunity for our students. And so we're excited to get those programs going at both those schools. Right now, we're having our teachers trained, as it requires a lot of training to really understand how to deliver good project-based learning with our students. And then we're going to start recruiting in the spring to be able to build those programs up for next school year. Also new this year at Liberty Middle School and Lake Weir Middle School, we're piloting some new career exploration courses for our 6th grade students there. Also supported by a referendum, this gives the students at those schools the opportunity to really explore the vocational offerings that we have in Marion County Public Schools, and also learning skills to be successful as they enter middle school in 6th grade, which is a whole new world for them coming out of elementary school. At the conclusion of the course, the students will take time to actually set goals for their future, things that they would like to focus on, and programs that they might be interested in studying through their last few years of middle school and on to high school. Being able to look at all the different opportunities we have lots of choice academies at all of our high schools, and so being able to really see what they're interested in and where they might like to journey to fulfill their dreams moving forward. We were also able to infuse a biomedical science curriculum at Liberty Middle School through their health science program, also using the Project Lead the Way model. So our 8th grade students at Liberty in the health science program are going to spend 9 weeks next semester exploring biomedical science, which includes infection detection. So they're going to learn about how diseases spread through project-based learning and be able to use science to help solve some medical mysteries. So we're really excited about that opportunity to partner with Westport High School's biomedical program. And so students there will be able to see the multiple tracks that healthcare can take them, not just working with people, but the scientific side, all the lab work behind the scenes that is done to really move our medical industry. And we're also excited this year to announce we're expanding CT into our elementary schools. We've piloted a new program of study at Hammett Bowen Elementary School, also again using that Project Lead the Way curriculum. We're firm believers in hands-on project-based learning to really get our kids excited about career and technical education. And so with that curriculum in those fifth grade courses, they're going to learn again how to think critically, problem solve, and explore some of the STEM opportunities, science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities that are available for students in the careers and also in further programs of study through our K-12 institution. And then this final slide here just shows you, these are all the different programs that we offer, all the different career clusters we offer here in Marion County Public Schools. All of these are supported in some way by referendum, either through teaching units or through funds to be able to purchase updated equipment and technology. You've heard me say multiple times here, career and technical education programs are expensive, and it's because we want to make sure our students are using industry standard equipment. We don't want them practicing on 30-year-old computers, right? We want to make sure that they have up-to-date technology, that they're able to get the skills they need, so when they enter into the workforce, leaving us after high school or after college, they're experienced and ready to take on those challenges and be successful in the workforce here in Marion County.
So we know that upgraded equipment is not cheap, as Mr. Whitehouse stated. So the vocational program, in addition to being allocated 20 vocational teachers, have 3 bus drivers that we use to transport students from their home schools to MTI, this facility for classes, and transport them back to their school at the end of the day or different times of the day. The budget has been spent about 11.5%. We typically don't charge the bus drivers out until the end of the year when we have identified the three drivers who have the routes between schools. So we've spent $246,000 to support the vocational programs out of a budget of $2.1 million. You can see these expenditures include what is called purchase services, which is basically sometimes contracted services, or it could be supplies, or the equipment or capital outlay is basically equipment. I think we've purchased some video contract, camcorder, kitchen mixer. It's just an example of the type of expenditures that are paid for out of vocational dollars. Now we'll move on to the library media, and Erin Martin will discuss that.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erin Martin. I'm Program Specialist for Library Media Services. I serve all of our schools pre-K to 12 with their supporting their library media specialists and their library programming on their campus. Referendum funding provides our students in Marion County the many benefits of having a state-certified library media specialist each and every day at their school. Our media specialists routinely consult reputable book reviewing periodicals and community stakeholders in order to select age-appropriate library resources as they develop their collection based upon reader interest, support of state academic standards, and alignment to the curriculum. One metric used to measure how a certified library media specialist can promote literacy on a campus is circulation of library materials. Here you can see on this slide that in the first quarter of this school year, we had a little over 123,000 books circulated in our school libraries. This represents about a 2.5% increase over last year at the same time. Our media specialists also promote literacy through the use of our digital reading resource, Myon. In the first quarter, our students have read over 44,000 books on Myon, which equates to about 1.1 million minutes of actively reading on this digital platform. Apologize, I went the wrong way on the slides there. Media specialists love to help put the right books in the right hands at the right time. It's one of the most satisfying and rewarding parts of the job to see a student read and enjoy a book that you helped them find that they likely would not have found without a certified library media specialist on campus to help them out. As noted on this slide, professional studies back up that as being more than just a good feeling. These studies demonstrate that reading for pleasure is associated with several important educational and cognitive benefits. The presence of a certified library media specialist on a campus can significantly increase the amount of reading which takes place, as well as positively impact student achievement and literacy.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. And again, we'll reflect on the quarterly expenditures. Referendum supports 15 media specialists. They have also spent about 15% of their budget, which includes salary, benefits, materials, and supplies. And in this category, each elementary school is also allocated $2 per student to supplement the supplies and materials that are used by our media specialists. Next, we'll move on to Fine Arts by Joe Crowder.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Joe Crowder, the coordinator of Fine Arts, and the Fine Arts encompass visual arts and performing arts, including music, theater, and dance. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to volunteer to be here with us today. In our first slide, we have our district in-service days. And elementary and secondary meet on separate days. These are some secondary teachers. We have teacher leaders who attend conferences over the summer, assist in leading our professional development. One example of a conference is World Music Drumming, which focuses not only on reading and playing music, but includes cultural diversity training and incorporates social emotional learning and cooperative team building lessons. I think we skipped, well, I am missing a picture. Marching band, this is a commitment. In July, most of our high schools spend 3 weeks doing marching band camps. And our students participate in conditioning. You can see that on the right-hand side, just like every athlete who plays sports. And the camps are so long because a lot of the times the band directors see their freshmen for 1 week, their leadership team for 1 week, and then they put the whole band together for the 3rd week. This is one of my favorite pictures because it shows collaboration between the middle and high school band directors. The high school teachers use this to recruit and mentor possible future band students. And this is in the stands at the football games. The middle schoolers get to sit in with the band and play. And it also gives the middle schoolers a chance to meet high school students so when they get to high school, they may know some students already and are already familiar with the band director. And unfortunately, since our original meeting date was postponed, the first 3 events have come and gone. They went very well, and you'll hear about them in our next quarterly meeting. We do have Veterans Day coming up next Friday at 11 at the Ocala Marion County Veterans Memorial Park. And the celebration is put on by the schools, and we stay in school that day in order to educate our students about the importance of veterans and what they've done for our country. So please feel free to attend. It's also open to the public. Education in the visual and performing arts throughout the year allow our students to build skills in all of their academic areas. Social emotional learning through the arts is key to our students' success, not just in academics, but in their lives. The fine arts provide an emotional outlet for students and add beauty and aesthetic value to all of our lives. The fine arts build well-rounded human beings by teaching communication, teamwork, community involvement, empathy, and creativity. If we want our future, the students of today, to be successful in reading and math, and to become productive members of society. The school district and community need to ensure that our students have access to quality and comprehensive educational programs in the visual and performing arts. Since Marion County said yes to the referendum, not only have we been able to hire classroom teachers, but we've been able to provide full-time art and music at every school K through 12. It's a privilege to watch the fine arts teachers in this county help form our students into people who care for and support each other, and to hear students say that they can relax and be themselves in their arts classes. We owe that to the citizens of Marion County for supporting our students' visual and performing arts education. Thank you.
The arts program, the referendum supports it by 0.5 of coordinator. Also supports it with a budgeted 17.5 art teachers and 11 paraprofessionals. We actually have 14.5 art teachers as of September and 8.5 paraprofessionals. 13% of this budget has been spent as of 9:30. And again, this includes supplies for the elementary school, $2 per student to supplement what the school is providing. As far as the music side of fine arts, again, 0.5 of a coordinator, and we have budgeted 17.5 teachers and 11 paraprofessionals. We have 17.5 music teachers and 8.5 paraprofessionals as of the end of September. Referendum also supports an additional allocation for music programs in elementary through secondary for a total of $103,000. 13% of the budget has been spent, again, on salaries, benefits, some purchase service materials and supplies, and capital outlay. We will now move on to professional development with Janet Biddick.
Good afternoon. I'm Janet Biddick. I'm the Director of Professional Leadership and Learning, and I am excited to be here representing the Professional Leadership and Learning team that works very hard to promote and support a learning pipeline for all teachers. That's instructional and certificated staff members, but also our paraprofessionals. And we want to ensure that we grow these individuals in their knowledge and their understanding of the best practices for teaching and for learning. This referendum funding directly supports a program geared towards a very specific group of instructional staff members. And that would be our newest teachers, and we call those our novice teachers. And as you can see on this slide, we have 256 novice teachers as of the beginning of the year, and that number went up until September, so it might have, at the end of September, it might have grown just a bit since then, and we're hoping it has to make sure that we are filling all of our vacancies if there are any at any of the specific schools. So working with these teachers are specific to our first-year teachers and, if needed, our second-year teachers. This mentoring and induction program is a valuable program assuring that our newest educators get the support and guidance that they need, and ensuring that our diverse workforce here in Marion County Public Schools is met where they currently are. So where they walk in and the needs that they have when they walk in and start working with us here in Marion County, we want to meet them where they are and continue to grow them throughout their journey here with us. This also, looking at this, our teachers on there, it says the instructional talent developers, those are our mentors. And our mentors provide over 30 hours of instructional and support for these novice teachers. So each new teacher gets at least 30 hours of support from their mentor. And this support really does go around the Florida Education Educator Accomplished Practices. So that's a strong focus, and that helps us to be in alignment with the Florida statute on working and supporting these individuals. Our focus on this group also directly aligns to our strategic plan, and that would be Goal 3, looking at recruiting and retaining high-quality educators, and also ensuring that we have the professional learning to continue their growth. As we look at the next slide, the first picture that you see on the left-hand side is a picture of our Great Beginning program that we held in August. So in August, we welcomed all of Marion County's newest employees, both instructional and non-instructional, to our Great Beginnings program. This 2-day event helped us to both train and welcome these team members. And for Marion County, it's been a huge focus to ensure that we're supporting a pipeline of both our teachers and our paraeducators. The picture on the right-hand side shows Miss Golden. Miss Golden is from Bellevue Santos, and she has already made a name for herself as a new teacher here in Marion County. Our leadership here in Marion County does walks through schools quite often, and as they've walked through Bellevue Santos, they were able to see her teaching and working in the area of literacy with her students, and specifically using some of the U-Fly strategies that we've most recently brought into Marion County to work with literacy for our youngest students. So looking at this second slide, you'll see the numbers of instructional and non-instructional staff members that were part of our Great Beginnings program. And again, we just continue to not only support them on day one of their journey, but all the way through that first year. And then our pipeline continues all the way through their journey as an educator here in Marion County Public Schools. In a moment, I'm going to steal your thunder. You'll see a slide that has the budget on it. And in my department, we don't spend our budget until the actual last part of the school year. And that budget goes directly towards having our mentors and their stipends. And those mentors are supporting, like I said, those 30 hours at minimum of instructional support for those new teachers. So this number will remain unspent until about April or May of this year. And then you'll see us spend it very, very quickly. And with the amount of teachers that we have this year, we are ensured to spend all of it, and probably even more than that as we welcome new members to our team. So we thank you, and we just appreciate all the support that you give to our program and to our newest team members here in Marion County Public Schools.
I think Ms. Biddick handled that very well, and there's no need for me to rehash those numbers. But as she said, you'll see more of the money being spent towards the end of the fiscal year. So our newest category is school safety. And with that, I'll turn over to Dennis McFadden, who is our Director of Safe Schools.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being committed to our community and our school district. Dennis McFadden, Director of Safe Schools. The district has established a working relationship with local law enforcement agencies to meet the mandate that requires school boards and school district superintendents to provide a safe school officer at every school in the district. For the protection and safety of school personnel, property, students, and visitors, out of the 4 options provided by the state, Marion County Public Schools chose the option of placing school resource officers, also known as SROs, in every school. We currently have 39 SROs from the Marion County Sheriff's Office, 18 from the Ocala Police Department, and 1 from the City of Bellevue, for a total of 58 armed personnel who are on campus to protect our students and staff and visitors in the event of an active assailant. As you can see, cameras and door buzzer systems assist staff in monitoring visitor access. They work collaboratively to provide a visual of all visitors prior to being allowed access. The district has made great strides to complete our camera and door buzzer projects. We understand the urgency of getting these school hardening projects completed. Therefore, there have been internal meetings to expedite the installation of cameras and door buzzers. Cabling and wiring were outsourced to a third-party vendor, and the cameras were bidded out to allow for mass ordering. All other projects have been delayed to make sure this is expedited, and with the help of our finance department, tech services, and other departments, our teams have provided the necessary funding and work and labor to expedite the process. So as you can see these pictures here, it shows you a visual of what our receptionists will actually see once they look on the camera, and that way they can get pretty much a full body view of the person outside of the door, and then they can push the button to allow them access in or out. But what we do, we have them go through a process where they basically ask them to state their business, and once they state their business, they can determine if that individual should even be on that campus, because a lot of times folks will come to the school and ask for their transcript. We know that you can't get your transcript at that school, so we can direct them to go elsewhere for it. Ask them to show their ID prior to approaching, hold the ID up to the camera, and just be able to vet them prior to allowing access into the school. As you can see, we are, again, working very hard to complete these projects. We are way ahead of our scheduled completion dates. I believe with the work and efforts that has been put in by our internal departments, we're going to pretty much be done, we're hoping, in a timely manner. So all the material for these door buzzers and cameras were already ordered on September 20th, and the estimated delivery is 3 to 4 months. Even though we order them, there's still that time, that lag in getting these projects in. It's not something that we can order today and expect them in a week or two, because we're competing with districts and other entities all across the country as we prepare and try to purchase these materials. Our tech services department has already installed the necessary conduit and wire at a lot of our schools. So what they do is they go in and already complete the infrastructure part of it by doing the wiring and conduit, so that when the cameras and the door buzzers get here, all they have to do is take the labor that they have, the manpower, and go in and install the cameras, so they don't sit around and wait until the cameras get here to do the infrastructure. Overall, the Safe Schools Department uses the expertise of all of our internal stakeholders to make sure that we're providing our students, our staff, and our visitors with the proper and best practices to keep our students and our staff safe. We sit down, we talk, we collaborate on a daily basis about what we can do to improve the security for our school district, and we're just making great strides, and we thank you for your support.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we know what the timeline is going to be for the completion of this, the door buzzers and the cameras?
We can't give you a definitive date, but we're looking at anywhere from about, we're going to say 12 to 18 months, but we're hoping sooner than that. Our goal is to get them done as quick as possible. As soon as the material get in, our tech services department and our internal staff, they're going to get on it right away. But it's just a matter of getting the parts in, and then once we get that done, they're dedicated, and they kind of put everything else on the back burner just to get these projects done. So we can't give you a definitive time, but it's definitely going to be a lot quicker than what we anticipated of 24, 25, all of those long extended dates.
Okay, thank you.
As Mr. McFadden indicated, we've come a long way, and you will see a budget amendment for Safe Schools in the next quarter report, because our board has made it very clear that we are to expedite purchasing and installation of this equipment to support our schools and ensure the safety of our employees and our students. So as of 9:30, the Safe Schools Department has spent about 22%. That includes something new this year, and these are Guardian supplements. That is a new component this year. We did have it last year, but I think it's grown over the prior year. Also, the referendum supports some of the costs of our SROs, or our school resource officers, because the referendum will allow us to spend dollars on cameras as well as door buzzers. The fencing predominantly is supported through the general fund, as well as some grant funds that we were able to secure, hardening. And so some of our SRO costs is accumulated and paid out of the referendum as well. If there are any questions for any of us, we will entertain them at this time if Ms. Morley so chooses. I would like to also thank you for serving in this volunteer capacity. You are modeling a behavior for us that when we get to a point in our lives, whether it's retirement or moving on to something different, that we will never forget those who stood in the gap for us and our students and our staff. And we so appreciate your volunteerism. And I've seen the committee change from year to year, but there are some of you who have been here from the beginning. And I just wanted to share that thankfulness from my perspective.
Do we have any questions? I would like to thank Ms. Teresa Bostonellis for an excellent job and the school staff tonight. And the presentations were very informative. And I'm very happy that this meeting is being televised to our taxpayers. And we can give them a report on how their tax dollars are benefiting the development of our students in our schools. One of the comments that I want to make is that Dr. Gonzalez was very big into the school visits, and I think Neil, the last visit that he went to, unfortunately, he couldn't attend that, but some of you have been to the school meetings. Neil, were you there?
I was at Greenway the last.
Can you say a few words about the meeting? Thank you.
Almost all of those that I have attended have been very, very informative. The teachers, the principals, the assistant superintendent that was there at Greenway were very, very open, very helpful. We saw an awful lot. I was so impressed. I always am when I have the opportunities to have these walks, just to see the kids, reacting with what this money is providing them. I mean, it's just, wow. I can't say too much more. My fear is what happens when we don't get this money. I mean, it's like the ESSER funds, and these, my other colleagues don't really understand the ESSER funds, but those are federal funds. And the question that keeps coming up every day is, what happens when it runs out? You're just going to have to cut corners. And I hate that word, you have to cut corners.
In the classroom.
So Diane was there with me at Greenway. I think maybe she has a few words.
Yes, it was impressive to see the teachers engaging the students the way that they do. And I attended the one at Osceola and 8th Street as well. And everything, from the agricultural program that they have there, the art program that they have there, the fencing around the school, it was like Fort Knox to get in it. And so thank you, Dennis, for doing a good job on that. I think that, everything is going in the right direction, and funding for all of this is not, I think it's not an option, it's a necessity. And so hopefully all will fare well for us.
I want to make one other comment in regards to the presentations. I'm in a position in my life where I see a lot of presentations, so I can compare, and yours are the best. I mean, I hope you really believe that. I'm now the Director of Purchasing and Warehousing for another school district, so I see a lot. I go to a lot of conferences, and kudos to all of you. Yours are by far the best. Of course, I live here in Marion County, so I'm a little prejudiced, but thank you. That comes from my heart.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Diane. I also would like to bring to Dr. Gullett's attention is that we have couple members on the list, and I believe as ICROC committee board members, and I think it's the responsibility or is the task for the board members to elect at least 2 board members and 2 substitutes, if I'm correct.
Thank you for that. Actually, Dr. Gonzalez and I had some conversation fairly recently about that, and I know that that was something he was working on and had some conversation with some of my board members. And so I'll certainly take that back to the board since this is a board group. I'll take that back to my board members. I know that one is here, and I want to thank, I also want to thank Vice Chair Allison Campbell for being here representing our board. But I will take that back and have them take necessary steps to ensure they're represented. And we do, as you're well aware, we have 2 incoming board members in just a couple of weeks. So we'll make sure they're represented. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I definitely wanted to bring that up. Do we have any other comments, concerns? With that being said, I would like to thank Dr. Gullett and all the presenters for an excellent meeting, well done. And for the coming election, please, please, please go out and vote. And the 1 meal tax referendum, that's going to be on the ballot. Let's help our students. They need us as an individual. Not as an ICROC board member, I would definitely, in my personal opinion, I'm going to vote yes for that. So, with that being said, can we adjourn the meeting? Can we?
Motion that we adjourn?
Can we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second the motion.
Second? Thank you. Thank you all. Good evening.